why to build, or why I feel building a regional portfolio is of value. Number one is the economies of scale. I think that we've all realized, come to know that, heard about that on many different levels. The ability to share operational costs across those facilities improves greatly when you can stack multiple properties in the same market. Now I'm able to use the same boots on the ground to service both of those facilities, whereas if I own one-off in multiple different markets, not that it's gonna, be I guess at the end of the day, that's a model that works, but what I've seen is just our costs go from when we buy that first facility and we're running it at 35% expense ratio, now when I add another one into it, that drops substantially. I think across everything that we own right now, we're running at 27.5 to 28% expense ratio in each of the different markets that we're in. So that extra 6-7% is just money at the end of the day that flows to our bottom line. Marketing dollars go further, for each of the markets that we're in. We're not having to create Google ads for each different property. We can basically run Google ads for that market, and so our marketing dollars are going to go further than if I owned one property here and one in Texas and one in Oklahoma. Just some things to kind of think about when you're buying, and maybe what you'd like to do down the road as far as building out multiple properties and assets that you own. Next thing is less operating competition. This was kind of my biggest reason for wanting to build a regional portfolio, was to lead and influence and direct the market. The more scale that you have in those markets allows you to really define and create the market. So we've seen that in my hometown. We own 70,000 square feet right now. Everybody else except for one operator is just mom and pop. So we're able to really push and define what that market is, what those rates are, because we have scale. When everybody's searching for units in that town, we're the only one that pops up in the 3 Google Map pack, and we're the top option, down from that when you're clicking to go into a direct link to a site or to a storage facility. So having that ability to really just influence the market is just, your value triples or quadruples. We push rates, constantly, and talk to other guys that own in town, and they're like, man, how are you getting, $105 or whatever for a 10 by 10, which in our market is crazy. When we bought these places, they were charging $45, $50 for a 10 by 10 unit. It's just our ability is to capitalize on leading and influencing that market. So to me, that's one of the strongest benefits of really building out a regional portfolio. Along with that, you have more opportunities to buy from these less sophisticated operators. As you get entrenched in these markets, as you own in these markets, you have that ability to connect with these owners that may look to sell sometime in the near future. And so as you develop those out, you can kind of learn about their business. You're already in the market, so you're going to be studying it to know, okay, hey, Bob's place down the street, if we buy it, doesn't have a website. He really doesn't rate manage at all to any extent. So you already know where you can add value to those things. And then by bringing in that additional square footage into your portfolio, it's just icing on the cake. There's a lot more ability when you've been entrenched in the market to capitalize on that when somebody's looking to sell. And I think for the most part, Chris Butler touched on it, is those relationships that you build with these people, with other owners, is key and paramount, especially in these secondary or smaller secondary and tertiary markets, to getting a jump on a deal before anybody else. To me, having those connections is really what will help you win the deal at the end of the day, get you to be able to put your foot in the door before it gets listed with the broker, and just, have the opportunity to buy at a fair price.